name is Simon Bowman, and this is my AIS 102 final project. Introduction. For my project, I selected a piece of artwork from Dwayne Wilcox entitled, "After 200 to 300 years, you will not notice it anymore." This 2009 ledger art is one of Dwayne Wilcox's many pieces that utilize a cartoony and colorful art style to properly depict Native American lifestyle, culture, and struggles. Artist background and information. Dwayne Wilcox was born in 1957 and was born and raised near the Pine Ridge Reservation, where he did a majority of his schoolwork. Wilcox is known for discussing the modern-day lives of Indians and contemporary issues they face as a society, while also discussing or adding important elements from the history of natives. Despite becoming one of the most famous contemporary Native artists, Wilcox did not take up art as a full-time profession until he was 30. Before taking up artwork full-time, Wilcox served 4 years in the United States Armed Forces. Today, Dwayne Wilcox is 67 years old and a member of the Oglala Lakota tribe. Background information on the piece. This 2009 ledger art piece depicts a Native American man sitting in a chair chained to a massive American flag ball and chain. This piece was created by Wilcox as a social commentary on the negative effects of European colonization on Native Americans. There's a lot of history behind this piece, as the title, "After 200 to 300 years, you will not notice it anymore," directly references European colonization, which began in the Americas, directly impacting Native Americans around 250 years ago. There's also references to specific American military members, as the American soldier in the artwork was drawn to represent General Custer, who led the American Army in the Battle of Little Bighorn, which is one of the most significant in Native American history. Context of the piece. This drawing is done in Dwayne Wilcox's most recognizable form of artwork, which is his ledger art. Ledger art is a traditional plain style of artwork that is drawn using pencils or colored pencils on ledger paper, which is often used for accounting or record keeping. The Native American warrior in the drawing is depicted wearing a headdress and traditional Native clothing. Despite not being an incredibly detailed or overdrawn piece of artwork, Wilcox is able to include many symbolic pieces, which is something he does often in many of his different artworks. The American soldier stands over the seated native in the drawing, which is used as symbolism to show the power dynamic in the piece. The drawing also shows the American soldier giving the native a small handheld American flag while having him chained to an American flag ball, which shows the irony in the piece. Wilcox uses a satirical sense of humor by drawing the soldier in the piece to look like General Custer to help convey his point. This is something he does often when drawing white people as a way to flip stereotypes on their head, directly in reference to the stereotype that natives look alike. On the right, I have another piece of one of Dwayne Wilcox's artwork that has Custer as a white person. This one is in reference to the California Native genocide, which is where the term redskin comes from. In this piece, Custer is asking for a haircut and gets his scalp removed, which was something that was done to natives in this genocide in California. Function of the piece. The function or goal behind Dwayne Wilcox's art is to accurately portray Native lifestyles and to continue the Native storytelling tradition through art. Ledger art has been in Native culture for over 100 years, beginning and getting popularized in the 1860s. So by continuing this tradition, he keeps the art style and the storytelling tradition alive. This style was something I was personally able to connect with well, as it was a style of artwork I was familiar with, as it resembled many comics or Sunday strips I have read in the past. By using his artwork to talk about current problems, Dwayne Wilcox is able to show his viewer an accurate portrayal of Native American life. The first theme analyzation I'll go through is colonialism. The most apparent theme that Wilcox addresses in this piece is colonialism. This is apparent through multiple different aspects of the artwork, such as the language of the piece, with the title being a direct reference to the time period that the Europeans started colonizing the Americas. Another aspect of the piece that discusses this theme would be the ball and chain, symbolizing the struggles that Native Americans have faced, such as unfair treaties, police brutality, and reservation raids, which are all direct results of United States colonization. Wilcox also references General Custer in this piece by having his representation of a soldier closely resemble the general. Wilcox has made this reference in other pieces as well, such as the drawing Budweiser Killed More Indians Than Custer, which is another piece we discussed in class. Colonialism is still a pressing issue, with many Indians being financially unstable due to unfair treaties and laws placed on the government on Native American markets. So by bringing this to light, Dwayne Wilcox helps inform others on this unfair treatment. By seeing these effects through a metaphor like the ball and chain, I was better able to understand the effects that colonialism has had on Native Americans. The second theme I'll be analyzing is survivance. By making a piece that discusses the negative effects of European colonization as a social commentary, he helps keep the discussion of Native Americans and their culture alive. Dwayne Wilcox uses humor as a tool to poke fun at American colonizers, which is a common method used in Native American art to help them hold on to their culture by showing the flaws of a dominant culture. By mocking these European colonizers and showing how ridiculous the setbacks on Native Americans have been, which is symbolized through the ball and chain being so massive and being told that you just get used to it. Dwayne Wilcox helps not only educate others, but protects the culture of these natives as well. He also helps with the survivance of Native American art, as his cartoony and colorful style of artwork goes against many common stereotypes of Native American art, as many times modern art museums often only put up portraits or landscape pieces when discussing Native American art, which continues to push the stereotype that natives are not familiar with modern culture or can't create modern contemporary art, which we know they can. The final theme I'll be analyzing is cultural identity. This is a theme that heavily influences this piece. It also discusses how forced assimilation has affected Native Americans. In the piece, we see the Native American visibly confused about the ball and chain, while the American soldier tells him not to worry and tries to hand him an American flag. This is meant to symbolize how Americans expect natives to be accepting of their culture while flushing native culture out. By being expected to receive the flag as a gift and to ignore the massive ball and chain, we are able to understand better how frustrating and difficult it can be for Native Americans to thrive in modern America while also holding on to their own culture. The ball and chain also represent laws and regulations that have been made to harm or even get rid of native culture. Dwayne Wilcox's art is a great example of how art can be used as a way to reclaim identity by calling out or making fun of an dominant culture, which is something I also discussed with survivance. For my conclusion, Dwayne Wilcox's artwork is another incredible example of how Native Americans are able to use artwork to discuss contemporary and traditional lifestyles, protect their cultural identity, and discuss problems that plague Native American communities. By utilizing techniques such as humor, challenging stereotypes, and retelling Native history, Dwayne Wilcox assists in the progression of Native American society in a multitude of ways. These artworks that address our course themes such as colonialism, survivance, and cultural identity help educate people who are unfamiliar with Native culture, as well as helping reshape inaccurate assumptions about natives.